Hello, everybody. Welcome back to some more Theory of Dracula. We've got some footage for you from the American League of the Spring Regionals Tournament. I'm going to watch a game between Strider656 playing as Dracula against Fangs of Fire playing as Hunters. This is taken from Strider's live stream of the game. I'll leave a link in the description so you can watch the original and hear Strider's commentary if you like. I'm going to be doing some sort of post-game analysis of it, and obviously in the commentary booth, it was his idea really. We weren't planning we were going to play a game, but then he was like, "Oh, let's just look at Strider's match instead." We've got the legendary Rossco in the commentary booth with me. Hello, Rossco.
Hello. Yes, I'm looking forward to this. I've not seen many of the American matches, so yeah, as you said, I thought I'd do a commentary and see what this one looks like. I've never watched it. I didn't see it at the time, so it's all new as well. So yeah.
Okay. I've just suddenly realised because I've muted I've muted it so then obviously that we're not clashing with Strider's commentary. But the downside is there's no game music. Is that going to be?
Okay.
That's fine.
People can put music on the background or something. They can play Spotify or something. That's fine.
Oh, that's an idea. Yeah, actually, yeah, people can do that. Cool. Or they can just drown us out if they get annoyed with us, right?
Exactly. Well, yeah. I mean, that's already happened. So.
Cool. Okay, right. I'll try and find because he's in the menu. So let's just skip forward. Bing. There we go.
This is good. You can jump straight to the action. So.
Yep.
So that's.
Oh, fantastic! Okay. Thanks, YouTube. Oh, you fucking shithouse. There we go. Brilliant.
I'm just looking there. That was so the video is an hour 20. So that's a decent game.
Yep.
So it looks like there's a lot happening in it. So we'll have a look and see.
I know from our game when we played in the league, right? Length isn't everything.
Oh, that's what she said.
Hey, I'm sorry. That's fucking hell. Why? It's just. I'm going to see it now in the analytics. That as soon as that joke came in, the whole viewership just slumped completely. Oh god, that's dreadful.
Listen, if you keep throwing them, I'm going to keep batting them. So you're as much an accomplice as this is.
Oh yeah. I'm not. I'm definitely taking responsibility for that one. That's fine. Yeah.
Right, enough chat. Get playing. Come on, it's a competitive game. Enough of this being friends. Get on with it.
So obviously 2 new members of the community in terms of the American League. What do you think about the start actually from Fangs? It's an interesting, different setup. Having Mina down there in Genoa.
Yeah, I've seen. Was it Fangs? There was somebody else that did it where they placed Mina in Milan. Was the only other.
I think that's a Pirate Joe thing. He used to do Munich, Munich, Milan start. What used to be the thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I get it. Obviously, the one is you've got to then move because, like you say, then Godalming, if he's on good items, he's got to move early to get to Mina or whatever. But I guess it's one of those where it's now opening up 3 countries that potentially they could check. So before when you had, if it's in Austria, they're going to check that. But when Mina was in Munich, you could do are they going to jump to Germany? So that rules out 2 countries. But now it potentially rules out starting in Bari because you're thinking, well, could jump into Italy and search me while I'm still stuck. So I get it. I just think it's better having Mina with another hunter. And as you say, with Godalming doing the double supplies, you can offload what you need to and get pretty much your guys tooled up quicker. But yes,
it definitely makes Italy less viable. It really does block that off. You can get there easily within 2 moves, unlike normally you need a chartered carriage or an excellent weather to get to Bari if Dracula does want to start there. But yeah, I mean, I just as soon as I'm not saying my start's perfect, but I just like the efficiency of having Godalming paired up with somebody else without having to think, oh crap, I have to move now. That's just me. But I get it. Other people want to do it differently. That's absolutely fine. It will be boring if we do it the same way. So. I kind of like that. Yeah. I like that. They got a new player who's coming and going, no, I'm going to do it this way and just be a little bit different about it. I think it's kind of nice. Yeah.
The only downfall I would say with that is that if you still started in Italy and it's revealed, it's going to be up to Mina, who's probably going to have to be the first hunter to come there. And as we all know, she's not the best in a fight. So, you're sending in your weakest, arguably next to Van Helsing, your weakest hunter to kind of deal with maybe 3 events. So you could potentially lose in a very quick fight.
Yep, definitely.
Or you have to sit there and wait until Godalming jumps down, but then again, you're kind of going, well, okay, that's kind of defeated the purpose anyway. So it removes Psychic Bond for 2 turns because they're going to have to, unless they get fast horses each, they're going to have to find themselves with that. And I guess with that as well, the other option is that, like he has, if you start over in the east, albeit I like the fact that Mina's on direct rail line, which is fine because in Milan you've then got to, she can jump straight up to 50, 58 if she has to.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, Milan's a bit awkward because you're that awkward kink where you have to go back to Genoa to get up to Venice. You can't rail directly. If you could directly rail from Milan to Venice, it'd be fine. At least it makes East and the Italy and Central Europe not as nice, but it makes the East way more tempting now. Way more tempting. So I mean, it makes perfect sense that you just went straight for Verona, albeit it might get easily. That might be if they get hired scouts, that might just be boom straight away Verona.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what.
Oh yeah, I remember watching this.
Have you watched this one?
No, I only saw like 5 minutes of it just before I went to bed last night. I couldn't spectate like properly because I would have fallen asleep. I was just watching it in bed while I was just dozing off. And yeah, I saw it where he wanted to go back to Verona. He was like, "Why can't I click Verona? Oh yeah, I need to misdirect it, don't I?"
Oh.
So that did make me chuckle. I kind of like what he's done. He just immediately just put hooks down first, and then you got a vampire behind it. I like that. Yeah, good chance that maybe the hooks might mature, but then the vampire might not because it's one space closer to Godalming. But I think it's fine. If a hooks mature, could sometimes be better. It just depends on what you get out of it.
Yeah, that's it. It depends. Yeah, exactly. If the deck's working well, or you end up getting a hoax with just 2 Drac cards. But again, it depends what the Drac cards are you get. So you always want to get a hoax to come off anyway. It's always a nice little victory for Drac if he gets a hoax. You've got a choice of something in your arsenal. So
absolutely, yeah.
That's the only problem with the other game because where he is now. Even if it's revealed tomorrow, then Dalming and then Mina's going to have to make additional move to try and get anywhere near it.
And it leaves that corridor open by the time Mina moves up. Dracula could, or even if Mina stumbles into Drac, like, what the hell is she gonna do? Like, she might be well equipped, but like, if she's not, and there's no escape route to easily quickly trade over, then because obviously she moves late, right? So as hunters, you're having to plan even more ahead, going right. I need to. Van Helsing has to waste his day action to trade something to Mina in case Mina bumps into him, and sometimes that takes a lot of forward planning, and sometimes you're just like, oh, let's just supply again. Oh crap, no, I can't do that. Let me know when you pick up CG. Funny. Oh dear.
Trying to shoehorn in a Jedi mind trick. Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
That's the thing. That's the problem with first week until Dracula's revealed. But I mean, it's quite interesting seeing it from Dracula's side because of the encounters that have been laid down and potential movement and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's a nice perspective because usually again it's kind of the hunters that you're following, isn't it? So it's nice to see what Drac's doing, especially if you're watching the game at the time and it's like, I like watching some games back that I've already watched, but you get to see it from Drac's view because then it's like, that's why you didn't do this, so that's why especially in combat, you know what it's like, it's like, why did you not just Fang? So, because you didn't draw Fangs.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
So here's a question for you then. In Valona, would you have hidden in Valona and threw down, what's he got? Did he have bats?
No, I don't think he had bats, no.
Throw down double in Valona, the view to try and damage or delay to get to Athens, or do you just let it run and carry on?
No, I think, what I think I'd probably do, because there's the risk of like wax cylinder, I shouldn't have said that. That inflates your ego because of the whole tier list saga. But I think what I think I'd probably do instead, I wouldn't hide at this moment. What I'd probably do is actually move towards Godalming, put something in Sarajevo he hasn't got any delay like a Bats, unfortunately. It's kind of unfortunate. Bats would be perfect here because the hunters might go into Sarajevo thinking, all right, I can then horse over Valona if it's a delay thing and get onto Athens, but then Sarajevo is something that will delay them. Or even if it's something like a spy and then they're throwing a weapon, hunters then are going to be really nervous, going like, do I actually jump onto that thing? In case they don't have a stake, if they've only got weapons, like, I can't kill that thing now. Okay, we know it's a hoax and an aristocratic, but the hunters don't know that.
Yeah.
And I think the fact there's no Mina there, I think I'd take advantage of those extra spaces. If Mina's sitting there, it's too risky of a psychic bond. But the fact it's only Godalming, just move towards Godalming, and then you can move away. You can go 49. Don't go to 59, but go to like Belgrade, and then do stuff. You can go Klausenberg 10, 50, 46, or you go to Black Sea Coast and then work your way back around again. It all depends if the hunters then, because Garing's going to have to move to deal with Athens, we assume. So then you could be sitting in 53 or 28, and then you will form pass, and then you're going up north, and then,
Yeah.
There's lots of things you can do. I wouldn't hide. That's just my opinion. I hide later to maybe cause confusion if the hunters think, oh, right, they're 2 away from you, but actually you're only 1. They might then jump past you or do something else. It just depends. Right now, I wouldn't hide. If I was going to hide, I'd do it with the hoax to try and protect the hoax. But he had nothing worth. I think there might have been a saboteur, but maybe didn't get it. I wasn't paying strict, really close attention.
He has got a sab, yeah, but I don't think. I agree with you. I think it's one of those as well. Is if you get to the first week and Seward has wax cylinders, typically he'll try and use hide anyway. So I think it's a good measuring stick to say, okay, well, if you know in the first week he's got it, that then allows you to, okay, well, when am I going to use it? Or you want to try and get him to waste it on deduction. Whereas, yeah, because again, normally if Seward's got it, probably play wax cylinders at night anyway, just to say, okay, well, have you hidden somewhere? Have you done the kind of sit and hide? So yeah, I agree with it. With the space that he's got and how far away that is.
But then the irony is now I said, oh, go to 49, but now Luke Mina's moved up. So yeah, I mean, I realised that the irony wasn't lost on me. If he now scans, I would have been caught if I was doing if I had moved to 49. If I was playing Dracula, I'd be caught here. But that's just the way it goes. But even if you are caught, like, sometimes
it's an issue, though, isn't it?
Do you really care? I mean, it depends on what you. I guess it depends on your objective, I suppose. But I doubt this really early on that they're really, really well equipped. Okay, so good for Drag that he moved to 46, and he's not caught. Interesting, you put the rumor on the hoax and not on the vamp. I guess direct attention to the hoax, get them to burn a stake on it, but then the aristocratic won't be sure. But then he's got a new vampire behind it. I wouldn't put down another. He has to put down a couple of other encounters. I wouldn't put down any more vampires for now until you get ascertained what sort of stake situation you're working with. A spy could be decent. Bodyguards could be decent. Now his movement's a lot more limited now that Mina's moved up because too risky of a psychic scan. But then maybe he might dip into Austria-Hungary because it's like, well, is Mina really going to scan 2 days in a row? Well, don't know. Maybe not.
And again, it depends on, if Godalming supplies during the day and gets items that he has to send off and vice versa, then he might end up, trying to get tickets for Godalming if he's trying to get fast horses or horse economy. And then Mina does a trade at night. So as you say, they don't always search every night on the psychic bond. But to be fair, he could go up Sofia and up the coast and kind of sit and wait around until they move. Because even if they found him, even if he went to Belgrade now and they found him, their priority is going to be, all right, the chance are he's either going to be in Galatz where he started or he's going to be in Athens, and then they've got to go after a rumour token regardless.
Or even
there's only 2 of them, so if you can split them up and target Mina.
Absolutely. Or he could maybe go back to 49, and if they catch him, he can move to 6, and 6 is in a position that they can't fast horse onto his position, they can't rail onto his position, so he's quite safe there. This is now maybe where you could do something where you could go up to maybe Galatz. If you need a little bit more time for yourself, hide, wait for them to all move past you, and then you go to 28, and then you will form past or something. You could do something like that. So I'd hold the hide until later. Especially because if he's discovered and Seward starts moving up, well, Seward's going to have to start getting tickets at night. He won't be able to do wax cylinders. And probably hunters wouldn't expect Dracula to. If he's going to hide, he's going to hide initially. He's not going to hide 4 days into the trail, 5 days into the trail. At least from my experience, anyway. So,
Yeah, that's papers this week. One hired scout so far,
we'll see if he's
which
got
was
paper. Yeah.
a good one because he checked Sophia when he wasn't there, and that's always a good one. I find is you go to somewhere they've already checked because
Yeah.
they rarely recheck it. So
Mm-hmm.
that's always a good one just to kind of run behind the storm, you know. And
Yeah, I
you've
do
checked
like that.
Sophia, I'll move there now. Yeah, because they're not going to check it twice. So
I think credit to Strider, the bit I saw last night, I think he actually said it in his commentary too, which I thought was like, yep, that's fine. I do that a lot as well. But then now we've said it out loud, we might get checked by doing that. But as hunters, are you really going to use hide scouts on a location you've already checked? It feels pretty bad if you get it wrong. So
yes,
interesting. Do they have newspaper? They got Harker, but then if they find
yeah.
Athens, I mean, they could get there with renewed vigor, sense of emergency, but.
Jesus. I would let if you thought that was a vampire, you would just say, right, okay, do you know what? I'll concede the 6-7 points. You're not going to waste RV and sense to jump on it and then realise it's a hoax. You'll be like, okay, well, that was a waste. So I think some of those is okay. Well, he started there, so he's going to be closer to Godalming and Mina now. Let's just
Yeah.
try and find him.
I'm interested if you got like a vampiric influence from the hoax. Do you snipe the renewed vigor from Mina? Do you snipe the fast horse? Because renewed vigor isn't so good without horses. Because you need to get the sense of emergency chartered carriages, and sometimes they just don't appear, or they're on the wrong person. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Yeah, I'd go to 49. I'd be a little bit risky here. Is Godalming really going to? Well, I mean, they might jump on you because newspaper might reveal you. I think Belgrade's a little bit safer. It's very risky. If you don't think they got newspaper, then that's a bold move, and I kind of like it. But you could get found here.
Yeah, but they can only get them if they've both got fast horses. So
Yeah, but at least you know that Mina's got one. So.
yeah, so I mean, you don't mind facing her, really, if that's the case.
Oh. No newspaper.
Paper, so that'll be Harker.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing. So that gets revealed tomorrow. The chances are they're not going to try and get it because they're not going to get to Athens, I would imagine. So staying where you are would be ideal because it's a case of if Drac thinks, right, I'll wolf form to Munich. You're only one away. All you got to do is one of them check you, and before you know it, you're back in trouble. Or do you just sit and, as you say, kind of some run past you to try and catch it? I don't know.
Yeah, it's tricky because also like we don't. I mean, we know there's a hoax and then there's a vampire behind it. So
Yeah.
everything after that gets wiped. So as hunters, you almost would you be happy if there was a hoax? Probably because there's not 7 points, but then the hoax could be arguably worse. It just depends. It all depends on the cards.
It depends how many. I've not. Yeah, I'm an idiot. I'm here on my screen trying to click on the event cards to see what's been. I was like, why? Oh yeah, because I'm watching it. Well done.
Yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how many. I don't know how many vamp cards are going to be in that deck. But as I said, even if you can get anything, then yeah, okay. There's nothing there you'd be.
The other thing I'm trying to do, I am deliberately. Oh, I was going to say like there's one stake there. I was about to say the item discard pile because I check that almost religiously every day, just in case I miss something. I am purposely putting my hands behind my head so I do not touch the mouse at all.
Oh, that's interesting. So they've got rid of a stake. Hoax would, yeah. I mean, they're going to get delayed, or I don't think they're going to get down.
But one stake's not the end of the world.
No, but it's handy for Drac though. It's one less for him to.
But especially if these things mature and the hunters realize, oh, it's an aristocratic. Oh, that's fine because we didn't waste a stake on aristocratic. Now we've got 3 stakes available in the pile for fighter vamps. And actually, obviously hunters don't know it, and they will never know it. But one of those vampires is actually behind it. One of the fighter vampires is behind in Salonika. So that's one they'd have to deal with. There's 3 reckless plus 1 new. Well, okay, that's now 3 stakes to take care of 3 of them. And so you got 1 to deal with. You can team up, or it takes a punch, knife to kill something else. Oh, he's going for the wolf form.
Ooh.
Oh, he's making the bold play to Munich. Oh.
Okay.
The thing is, you know, at best it's only going to be a 2v1 because obviously Seward's never getting there, right? Wait, could he? Oh, it depends on how chartered carriage. I can never remember chartered carriage with fast horses.
You need vigor
No,
shot.
1, 2. Nah, he wouldn't get there.
No.
No, it's the wrong way because the chartered carriage would have to be done first, and that is a
Well,
special action.
what he could sense emergency and fast horse.
Oh yeah, sense of urgency to Marseille.
Or vice versa, and then 2 up to
No,
Munich.
no, he can't because fast horse and sense of urgency are special actions. So you can't do 2 special actions. No, so I think it's a 2v1. It all depends on how well equipped those other 2 are. If you can get a good fight, it's also first week, so Escape as Bat has a lot of potential here.
Ooh.
I don't know what I wasn't paying attention. I'm slightly dozy. What he actually put as the encounter in Munich?
Bodyguards, I believe.
Oh. Oof.
I don't know.
It's. I mean, not really good against Godalm. You kind of want to use it against Mina, I suppose. To try and get. If she has a knife, you want her to show it. So you almost just want to kind of ignore Godalming with it, but then might not jump in. Because he's played the renewed vigor. He played Speedy Telegraph. I should say to the.
I think
There you go. Oh.
Do you need? Well, you see, why? Can risk. Again, that's my only bugbear. I mean, he's not immediately there. All right, he's there, but you could afford to keep that and move 1.
Supply and just do a normal move, yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think as if he'd rule formed last move or previous to last move, he would have got that back if the aristocratic matures.
Yeah,
nice.
Yeah, but you could get it back now if he escapes his bat in the combat.
Yeah, if they fight, although they're going to Speedy Telegraphed. Chartered carriage.
Well, that's on Seward, yeah. So he's going to get as far as Marseille then. 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah. And then he can move normally to like Milan. But if he escapes his bat, he's going to get past that and then wolf form again. Kind of only go as far as Marseille and then Supply, I think.
Yeah, because it allows you to go to the other 2.
Because it stops in escapes bat location. Oh no, he's moving. Oh well, fair enough.
Maybe
he has a
he's moving his hunters. Seems to know that, or he seems to think that he's in and about Munich to put Van Helsing up north and bring Seward in.
Yeah.
Not go along the south coast to supplies. Oh, here we go.
Oh, what?
No. Oh.
What? Oh, interesting. That was not the move I was expecting to make. Oh, maybe there's a trade. Maybe there's a really awkward trade that needs to be done. He's just sacking off Athens and Valone. I mean, fair enough. I mean, honestly, I probably would do the same. Or a day trade? Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. I guess maybe.
It's like you said, if he's got good stuff on him, he doesn't want to supply and them.
I just then, if you're having to dump one good item, I'd dump one good item.
Seems to me he knows that he's wolfed into Munich because his hunters are surrounded well now. Ideally, you don't want to get in combat and just let him. Now he's only moving 1 at a time. You could potentially get a 3-on-1.
And the cool thing with this, actually, because he's got renewed vigor, he could move Mina in and then fast horse out. So there's no combat. Unless you get something like, is there anything that could delay? Oh, Saboteur would delay. Yeah, I think he's twigged that it's 49 then. Was there a consecrated ground? Is he actually going to CG that early? Is that what's happening? No, surely not.
He's traded another heavenly host off Godalming to Seward.
Maybe that would warrant such a use of renewed vigor to trade.
Yeah. Then you block the north, force him down south again into the hunters.
Yeah, force him back into 59. Oh well, you can't. You can only block. You block 60, 41. I guess you do 60, 41, 57. Oh no CG. Well, I think you'll be pretty happy with that.
It's hoax, so looks like he'll. I mean, also, well, yeah, less Mina can get to Valona, he might get his aristocratic, which would be good.
Mm-hmm. I should also
Because the thing again, this is by rumouring Athens, and you assume that's a vampire. You kind of go, right, well, he's going to mature that anyway, so I don't have to worry about the following three.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden you're kind of like, right, let's ignore them, which then allows, you getting 4 points is a good mature rather than, doubling down to try and get your rumour token to get the extra 3. That's not a bad little tactic. That they know they're not going to get to Athens, so normally you would go.
The problem is
Right,
now
just
the way Mina's moved, she can get to Valona, because obviously it's obvious that Valona is the next thing on the trail. She can get to Valona, so she can stop that vampire. But then
she can with a good horse roll though. That's it. You got to rely on.
But then also she's got a new vampire behind it. So either she uses a stake on the aristocratic, but then she has no stake for the new vampire, or she doesn't use the stake on the aristocratic, and then she can't stop the new one from. So I think he's going to get. He's almost guaranteed in this situation to get 3 or 4 points plus a hoax mature.
Huh?
Right. Okay. I was kind of. Oh, right. Okay. I'm gonna. I'll pause it. If you're playing Drac, where do you move here?
I thought he was going to go back to 49. I like that move. I don't want to be going. You can't go south because you're too close to the Hunters. You go north, you've got Van Helsing. I think, because they're on Milan, like we said, they're not directly on the rail to get up to 58. Mm-hmm. So you can either go 58 or 49 would be my choice.
You mean 59? Okay, so you go to 59 then, maybe because the problem is 49 would still be on the trail, so I'd have to misdirect it, but that something's going to mature behind it, or you move to 53, and you make your way towards Black Sea, because obviously the Huns are going to have to check 60, 57, 41. I mean, Van Helsing is rule out 41.
I think if you go to 41, the problem is, the Hunters could be on you. Surround you at least, and then obviously the wolf form is too far away, and you're congesting yourself. Plus, again, the risk of CG is always there that you don't want to be. If you go to 59, then you've got options there for them to cover it, and you've also got misdirect you can use as well if you got to get out of something.
Yeah.
And if Mina's going to stay where she is, then again you've got a good chance to isolate Mina and maybe kick her out, which is always nice bonus points as well. So
we can't hear Strider's thoughts, but I guess it depends on what you want to do. If you're going to try and manipulate with Mina or aim to go to Black Sea to escape, if you need to, then obviously you want to go to 59 because it's closer to, because obviously you go 59, 53 rather, I think you have to go 28, it's the same, I guess. But then you can go down to Belgrade if you need to. You've got a bit more flexibility. 58, I guess I'd only go there if my plan is to then go up north and try and sneak past Van Helsing. Because the excellent weather's gone as well, so you could, if you get to Hamburg, get to the UK, the Huns are going to be slow to get after you, but then there's also the risk of CG and stuff, but...
I think that trek north to Hamburg it's an arduous one or feels arduous for Drac in that way, where there's good train lines there, so you can get Hunters onto him, which is a risk. You don't want to be stuck having to fight them. Whereas if he goes to 59, what he could then do is, if Valona matures, he could potentially hide where he is, and that'll burn his trail off, which gives him full access back down into Eastern European again. And then you've only got Mina sitting there as well. So, and it depends what his Athens is. You might get Athens to get unearthly swiftness, and all of a sudden he can make 2 moves where he needs to.
Yeah, anyway, and he can just get himself out of trouble. Yeah, and I think the thing is though, like, they're probably setting up for good horse economy, so it's unlikely this could happen. But imagine if Gadami checks 57, he's not there, and then he rails straight away up to 44. If he went from if Dracula went 50 to 44, then suddenly Gadami's on you, and then he moved first, so everyone else can jump on. But the fact he's doing with horse economy, then it's unlikely that Gadami has a yellow too, but he might suddenly swap it out at night. I think I'd go to 59 here, and then go to 53, and then go 28, and try and work around that way. It's almost better for Dracula if Mina deals with the aristocratic, because then you wouldn't get as many points, but the new vampire will mature, so then wolf form comes off the trail quicker. It'd get wiped, so I'd almost want me to go and check 55. Okay, well, we'll see what he does.
And then it means that she's got to delay herself with, do I check with a trail? No.
Oh, you went to 50. You went to 41, so you could be opposite to us. But yeah, I think I would have headed east again.
Yeah.
Because she checked 59, right? What's the chance she's not going to go back to 59?
Yeah, I think Godalming skipped Munich, so they don't know he's there. He could have wolfed.
They're just
So
assuming.
yeah.
Right, let's see what he's got. Seduction, Nocturnal Visit. Okay. Oh, he's got a manual.
Come on now. Come on.
Come on, it all depends what else he's got. Let's see. Oh, he's got Earthly Swiftness. I mean,
That's a nice hand.
That's a tough choice. I think. I mean, no, you wouldn't pick wild horses, and their players. No, Vampiric Influence is now useless because of the Renewed Vigor's already being used. Because you want to do it, maybe you might want to snipe the horse. Devilish Power, maybe if you're really fearing Consecrated Ground. Seeing. You have to go for a manual, right? You fuck with the hunters so much by taking. You get a lot more stuff, and they're throwing away stuff.
Bear in mind as well that the next card on the deck is a
Dracula. Yeah.
You're guaranteed one anyway, and if you burn, like we said, it's just as beneficial if you burn 6 hunter cards that are good, like CG, Heroic Leap. All of a sudden, it's like, right, now we're on my playing field, motherfucker. But he's already going to get one with this. Earthly Swiftness, I think, is a great one to keep in your back pocket if you find yourself in a situation where you need to get out. Devilish Power, yep, you could argue that, if they draw, I mean, I think it'd be different if they had, I mean, you could, you wouldn't want to waste Devilish Power on getting rid of Jonathan Harker, fuck that. But it's more about, if Rufus was it, or Sister Agatha, it'd be nice to remove her from a fight before you started fighting two hunters.
Yeah, or because of sea travel, you want to get rid of Rufus, yeah.
Yeah.
But I think there's a surprising return. If I saw Mina's Feint credit is very blurry, I think she has a surprising return. So even if there was a Sister Agatha, the Devilish Power for that is not so strong. So it's only for the CG. Come on, you got to go for a manual for the memes, right? Surely.
Yeah, I think you got to go a man. And I think as well for the CG, which we already found as well, that Devilish Power, as long as you don't place the CG correctly, if you've got Heavenly Host to block him and you stick CG somewhere else, he can remove it, but he's still going to be trapped. So it's not always
it depends on the moment it gets played, right? I think if he picks either Unearthly or Manual, okay, he's picked Unearthly. Honestly, that's fine. That's not a bad choice. I'm not against that at all.
There's a reshuffle, so.
Oh yeah, that means there could be even more stuff. I think a Manual was like the more fun one, but I think Unearthly is like the little bit more like. Manual's a little bit more high risk reward because you could also just burn like 6 shit hunter cards from the top, so you've left even more good stuff in the deck.
That's right. It's one of those, isn't it? It's like you either take what you know you're getting, or you take the risk of what's in the box. Okay, so he's fast horses now. That's fine. I think you could well have done that double trade. 3 of them on fast horses.
Yeah. It could have been a fast horse thing. Yeah, because obviously Sue would never move with fast horses. So it could be Kadami could have been sitting there with double horse. And obviously, he couldn't trade it to Mina because Mina's already got one as well. So yeah. The thing is, like Kadami could just jump onto 41 right now. That's the problem. We're going to 41. Oh. Okay, he only went to Munich. Oh, he put a Reckless into Munich. Okay.
That's what you put,
Oh, then you almost don't. Do you want your wolf form back? You don't want to wipe the vampire, right? You want to keep the vampire there. Yeah, maybe.
Now he's got an Earthly Swiftness.
He's
kind of got an additional. The wolf form's not as important as it could be.
That's true. Yeah. I think it still would have been fun though to see with a manual what would have been burnt. It's just
Here's a question then. Again, regarding the rules. So, use fight. You escape his bat, okay? You get your wolf form back, right? Then you wolf form.
Yep.
You Unearthly Swiftness. That allow? Would you be able to then effectively move 5 or 6 paces away from our initial location?
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, because it'll be during the turn that you wolf form that you can then say play Unearthly Swiftness. So you could potentially move 5 away from the space you were last at.
Yeah. Could be if you were in a tight situation, that'd be a nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and then that's like, depending on if it's especially for a Central Europe location, well, that's like the entire fucking board you got to check now. And because then you can misdirect the escapist bat location. If you can get it, if the hunters don't jump on it, and then they've got no idea where you are. You need a hypnosis. That's the only way you get out of that problem, unless you just stumble into the trail, the escapist bat location. Yeah.
That'd be a nice combo.
That would be a good combo. Yeah. Hasn't looked at the combat screen, so I don't know what Godalming's got. We know he's got horses. We don't know if he's got a stake or not. That's my advice to all Draculas. Check the combat, because it tells you then very quickly what the hunter's objective is going to be. I mean, that's all worked out nicely.
Yeah.
I should say to the viewers at home, we know the result because this is no wait, do we know the result? No, we don't know the result. No, we don't. That's not true. Bollocks. We don't know the result of this game. No, because this is one that has come out before the results have got posted. So yeah, we don't know the result. So we're in the dark here completely about what's going on. Pick up a Fangs is nice, but now Godalming might just play a knife or something, knowing that it's probably likely that the Reckless picked up Fangs. So you almost don't want. Do you play a Mesmerize instead?
Because I think if he's got a stake, he'll try and escape now. So you want to block that. And then even if he tries to escape after,
you got the plotting to stop it, right? So the Fangs almost guaranteed. You don't need to play the Fangs now. I see. Yeah, I mean that's well played by the Hunters, like But I think that's almost too obvious, as especially with a Reckless of all things. If it's anything else, it's like, well, that's okay. But yeah, I think it's just too obvious that you play the Fangs, and now that Fangs is gone. You had plotting, so you could have just cancelled it anytime you wanted. So just Mesmerize, or Strength, or do something like that. Because if
Godalming hasn't got a stake because he just clicked on the eye there, and he's got 4 items still remaining plus what he played. So he's got 2 fights and his 3 basic. Okay. So there's no stake. So you just want to just try to escape his mist.
You can't do it this turn. Though. It has to be next turn.
Yeah. If you can get away for there. And then make him fight you at night without a stake, then. Oh, no, don't.
Yeah.
Good.
No, that's the thing. Like, if as soon as you know that, then you can play around. If you've got double strength, just do strength. He's got a garlic. So I mean, garlic's pretty good against Reckless because it kind of counters everything the Reckless wants to do. I know you can claw through it, but that's 2 damage. So yeah, you're kind of stuck. I just play Strength because then if he plays Garlic, well, who cares? He might, as a hunter, you might go, oh, he knows I got Garlic. I'll play something different this time, and then you're not going to break the knife or whatever it is, but you could get 2 damage in. Either that or you escape his mist, and just delay that Reckless dying. I wouldn't play Claws because it's just too easy. He plays Garlic.
Yeah, I wouldn't have played.
It's just too easy. He plays Garlic here, or any weapon, Yeah, because you got 2 damage in, but it wasn't really worth it.
There's not to lose for Godalming. You just play Garlic. If you've got it in your hand, you always play it because as you say, it's covering so much. It stops the Reckless. So that was unfortunate. If you had
2 damage on a hunter is only worth it if you know the vampire's going to get staked. But because you know he has no stake, you then prioritize the fight. I talk about this quite a lot of the videos. Like, it's all about priority of fight. Same with hunters. When you time you go into a combat, what is the priority here? What is it we're actually trying to do? Do I need to reveal stuff? Yes, no. Fangs if I had played, what he had to do. But I think from a Strider, if I was Dracula, I'd be disappointed with that because I think you could have seen that coming. I think.
Yeah. Especially when you had a plotting there, you didn't get a chance to use it.
No, that's the problem. I mean, but Garlic's good against that.
Because you play with your strengths, you play your 2 strengths. Garlic might block 1, but at least you get, as you say, you get 2 damage on the other.
And at least if you're playing strength, then the vampire's not receiving damage back, right? It's just blocked. But then the Garlic's down, so then you can fang him next turn, right? And even if he dodges, well, you got the plotting to cancel the dodge, so it's fine. So you get your point. Even in that situation, right? If he'd waited a little bit, he would have got the vampire would still be full health. I'm sure there are stakes around, but
now it frees up Munich that Seward can jump there if he wants to without fear of having to, another bite getting done for points. So it frees up that location. So Seward can now, if he wanted to, instead of supplying, he could have checked 60 just to make sure he's not there, or 57, and then Van Helsing can now jump down and block ahead of, go to 21 and force him into Leipzig.
Claws work against Garlic. It does 2 damage and then 2 damage back. It actually says it on the Garlic card, even though it doesn't have the symbol, because it doesn't cancel the clause, but it does damage back, and that's why it. Yeah. I didn't do a test recording. I hope my audio is not fucked up. That's gonna be awkward.
We'll see when it comes out.
Do I upload it? Ooh, because sometimes it can be pretty gnarly if it's not done. But I think it'll be fine. We'll cross our fingers. Obviously, people, if you're watching this, either the audio is crap, but I've uploaded it anyway, or the audio is fine.
But you can hear it before you upload it, though, can't you?
Yeah, but obviously I can't change it. Obviously.
Or change it, yeah.
Can you imagine if I said you a message going, we had to record all that again?
Oh, Jesus. Do you know what, though? It'd be a different commentary because I'd forget everything I said.
Oh, that
I'd
works.
be like contradicting myself. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, I mean, to be fair, my voice ends up blowing the mic out most times anyway, doesn't it? So. Strength only gets cancelled, so you dealt damage. Yeah, guys, when you do this, it's always useful to go through the library in the main menu, and you can read all the cards for both factions, because it's things like that where if you're not aware of it, all of a sudden you're like, oh, I thought this could have happened, and really, the onus is on you to know what the cards are, and it's annoying if you lose something because you weren't aware of something. So take the time. Well, it's always nice. I go back just to refresh. What is that again? So it's always good. Check the library's there for a reason. Go and check it, and that way it'll help you not just do that, but it also you can navigate around knowing what the opponent has as well. So
especially like the combat cards, because there's not many, especially from Dracula's side. There are not many of them. There's only like 13. I mean, even then, like the unique. I don't know. I should be able to know off the top of my head, but I can't remember. But there's not many. There's I think something like 7 unique cards. So the event I could perfectly understand. If you're like, oh, I didn't know they invented that, especially the Dracula ones. You don't see them very often.
Yeah.
Plug. We did a tier list of all the Hunter and Dracula events. You should listen to it.
Yes, you should, and you can agree or disagree. Well, in fact, you can agree with me and disagree with Scot-sword. Disaragi, that's all I'm saying.
At some point, I don't know, and obviously not anytime soon, but maybe like on like 2nd year anniversary or something, we should revisit that video and just see like what things we would change, because we've also got our notes right from before, so we can easily go back and go, I would change this, I'd change this. But we need a little bit of time. We need a little bit of distance with it, though. So no, I'm not saying this year. Maybe that could be like a 2024 thing.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see how it's, and as well how the new players that join and different gameplays they bring. As you know, if different metas come in and vice versa, it could be a case of, right, well, we don't use it anymore because that's a way to get around this or around that. So, it's always good.
That's something I thought of today, actually. That might be quite a cool thing to do. Like almost like a little community Q&A where people can like chuck questions at me, and then I can do like with it, but like about the game, obviously, not about myself. I'll just be like, I don't know if you'll ever get like a. Oh.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't have to do that. That vampire's guaranteed to mature, so you didn't have to do that. But I mean, the problem is now you've shown your hand. You know what you've got. But I mean, you're putting yourself to Hamburg, and that means you don't have to play Fog. Well, do you play Fog? No, surely not. But maybe the hunters might realise you're going to a port.
Okay. Yep, that's fine. 3 points.
I probably would have saved. I don't know. I probably would have saved that, but that's just me. But then typically you have it, it's burning a hole in your pocket.
I don't know though. I mean, to be fair, he's now 3 away from. He could have, if he'd only gone 1, he could have been caught.
Yeah, but the fact,
they could have surrounded him. So yeah,
he could be,
I guess you want to go to the port just in case CG's a threat.
But he could be in.
Yeah, I would have saved it.
Obviously, because we're a little bit more zoomed in, we can't see it. But like, he could be in 54 right now, 15, 27, 28. That's like, he could even be in Rome, right? That's so much of the board. Later gonna have to be checked. I mean, wow. I mean,
Jesus Christ, Scot-sword level of luck.
I guess the question is, do you throw out extremities, or I think you just have to search around Munich. You need to ascertain the direction he went in. I think I would have done that too. I think I would have checked, because that rules out anything south and west. So now you know, right, it's either east or north. That gives you a little bit of...
I don't know. I think I probably would have gone furthest and come back in. So I probably would have checked Hamburg and Berlin or Leipzig, and then, right, he hasn't gone that way. And because
But he
and it's
could
going to
be,
be
but he
round
could
about
be,
there.
but he
So.
could have, but then he could have been in 16, and you've kind of missed him potentially. There's a... Wait, what? Why are you going there? That move I don't get. I don't know what that is. Oh, fucking hell.
Jesus Christ.
I get... Do you search? I think he's got surprising returns. I think you search with this, right? That was impossible. He couldn't have been in Geneva. You check Zurich and Venice. So it's impossible that he's in Geneva. So that was a fortunately a wasted search, but that's okay. There's a lot going on. Maybe he's sending him to Marseille so he can rail up north, but then why just go to Venice? Because you could rail up to 44 then.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense to me, but okay.
But the thing is, because he's checked Geneva, makes me think that he thought he was down that area anyway. He's obviously that was incorrect. So he's kind of wasted Seward because he thought if he was in 24, he could be in 15 now, and I can jump on it, or I can block 54. But obviously, Wolfform's now back anyway. So, but I think, yeah. I mean, it's kind of working out for Drac because he's managed to get the Hamburg and.
Yeah. Thing is now, like,
Hunt is
obviously,
further away.
in retrospect, it was a waste on unearthly swiftness, but we want to know.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
You know, you want to know that the Huns would be staying put.
Yeah, because
it's
had the Hunters, if Van Helsing jumped to Leipzig to block him in 41, and then Godalming was going to, you'd be like, I'm glad I unearthly swiftness to get away from that. So, yeah, it's all swings and roundabouts in it, but
yeah.
I think you always want to keep a power card for a situation where you're like, shit, I could die here, but I've got this card to use rather than just, let me just quickly jump away from, I don't know. Because Rufus wasn't played, so he can go to sea.
Yeah. And the question is, do you stay on land to make him think that you've gone east?
Oh.
This is yeah. Yeah, this is interesting.
This is dangerous because Seward's on Marseille.
Yeah, he could actually, with a 3-2 rail, he could get up there.
Yeah, you can get on him. Van Helsing, obviously Van Helsing's afterwards, but...
and I think this is kind of why you need to play zoomed out, so you can look and go, where are the threats? How far away are they from me? Oh, I have all the things you put down on rats. I'd have put down Discord Sword at least. If they don't jump, obviously if they all jump on you, then you kind of want the rats. But I think you need to get Discord Soil in, because if you're going to go to sea soon, you want to try and get that Discord Soul going. He might pop it in Amsterdam, but then he might have to use his fog now in Amsterdam because he might be under pressure. It takes us a full ward, and then suddenly you got 3 hunters on you. Maybe he doesn't have. Seward doesn't have horses. Otherwise, I feel he would have moved by horses to get to somewhere. You know what I mean? If he thought he was in 15, why did he just horse to 15?
I know. Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Okay, well...
Might be concerned. He might have been concerned that he went to... Because he checked... At 58, he checked, and 60, was it?
Checked Zurich and Venice, 5760. Yeah.
Ah, right.
So there's no way that Dracula could be west or south. That's the thing. The only reason why you move Seward like this is because you're going to rail up north, but then you could do it... Oh, now he's going to catch on to it.
Okay.
No, don't ambush. No.
No, leave it. Leave
it. We're fully aware this is not live commentary, by the way. We're not influencing anything.
Yeah. I don't like this perspective. Zoom out, man. Strider, zoom out on your videos because it's easier for everyone. It's a better watching experience as well. Because at the moment you're like, right, where's he going to go?
Yeah. And you see way more stuff. I know it's kind of weird. I know, like, oh, you want to see the details? Like, well, no, you want to see the four meeples on the board, kind of thing. Yeah, oh, he supply. Yeah. Oh, wow, Strider's really getting away with this.
Yes. He draws Okay.
more
No
scared.
evil
But
presence would have been nice.
yeah, oh yeah, because obviously that connection between 51 and 16, that's caught me out before. I remember in my early days not realizing, the 16 and 51 connection. That can really work. Oh, there he goes.
Okay.
Well, I mean, is maybe rats is okay, but the problem is that you kind of I don't know. Do you play Discred Swords? I don't know. Maybe it's worth it. Maybe it might be worth it.
Yeah, I mean,
Now,
it takes 2 off.
now is that a bluff?
Yeah.
As Drac, I would take nothing out of that information at all. Unless he revealed everything else to me, I'd be like, I think you might have a weapon, but you're not revealing it to me.
Yeah.
So you can absorb that 2 health again with somebody else, right? Oh. No heroic leap. Ooh.
Click on I for a Strider. Let us see. Click on I. Let's see how many.
There he goes.
Thank you.
Oh, full of combat. Holy moly. Well, there's no holy bullets then to worry about.
Nope.
Oh, right. What do you do? Strength or Fangs first?
Strength.
Or you pay strength, even if it's a heavenly host? Because he said kill rage from claws.
Yeah, because then you can, you've got 14 health now. If he takes heavenly host, you can use Fangs to get health back.
Mm-hmm.
As you say, I mean, you play it and you get him out straight away. But Jesus. Wow. Okay.
Well, that was anticlimactic.
I don't know what Van Helsing's weapons are, but he doesn't want to get involved in a fight. He's got three items. He's like, nope, not today, thank you.
I mean, to be fair, like I probably wouldn't have done I probably would have done the same thing. I would have tried to get out, honestly, because you don't want to end up in a
yeah. You don't want to get a claw.
Oh, but I was going to say you could get Godalming into the fight tomorrow, but now he's delayed, so that's not going to happen. Okay, well that's probably more genuine that he probably doesn't have a weapon.
He can't get up. No.
It all depends now. As Drac, do you go to Amsterdam? Amsterdam's completely safe.
Yeah, you got to.
Unless you got wolf form. Do you go to 51 then wolf form? Is that risky? Is that too risky? It all depends on what movement you think, or do you just go to Britain?
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Maybe you do go to Britain, yeah. The thing is, the 2 things which are on the trail which have been revealed, they're kind of like dud stuff, right? Actually, I don't like the vampire there, because Van Helsing doesn't have a stake, so somebody else is going to have to deal with it. I'd put a rumour on it, though. Oh wait, what did he put in Hamburg? Oh, he put an aristocratic there, didn't he?
Aristocratic.
Ooh, I don't know where you put the rumour token here. I think you put it in Amsterdam.
I don't know if you do. I would just hang fire until the next week.
Maybe. Or if you go to Britain,
so you know where you are. The whole point of rumour tokens is when they don't know where you are, so you've got a chance of it maturing. Now you've got a chance to supply, get a stake if they need to, or whatever they might. You hang fire so you can double up in another week.
But I guess as a rumour token, it makes the hunters think, oh crap, I actually have to deal with this. I can't ignore it.
Yeah, but I think they would anyway. It's first in the trail, isn't it? So normally, even if you place a rumour token on the 3rd day, it's less time for them to get to it. Now they've got all week effectively to kind of go, right, we can clear up the trail, we can chase up this, and then we'll jump on it when we're ready. It's.
I guess it just depends how many sea space, because you can't play a rumour token. Oh, he has got horses. You haven't got. I mean, you only just got it now. You can't put a rumour token when you're at sea. So if he's thinking of moving 2 sea spaces, I mean, fair play. I mean, I'm kind of happy now he did go to Strasbourg, because that would have been fucking catastrophic. If you've got a full, fully equipped Van Helsing and then a Seward walking in as well, that would have spelled disaster.
Yeah, it's a bit
risky. But the thing is, he doesn't know where he is, because he doesn't know if he went to Hamburg. Did he go from Frankfurt? From that? Yeah, he doesn't know the order. Yep, so that works. The thing is,
what you could look at. I mean, you're probably for next time. You could always hide in Amsterdam and throw a fog down, and make them think. If you delay going to sea again, they'll be like, right, as you go, okay, where could he be now?
Yeah.
Godalming scoots past you to Le Havre. The argument there is, okay, well, you could then you could misdirect Leipzig, for example, and then almost look like a kind of wolf back to there, but you could go to Le Havre from there.
Yep.
It's risky because I'd rather, if I'm going to sea, you want to keep wolf form for when you land. You don't want to be using it now and then, go one space because again, siege is always a threat. If you land in London, they could then,
Yeah,
even if he wolf forms when he lands in UK, Manchester's a bottleneck as well. So
yes, we haven't seen the discard part for a while, but I assume all the heavily hosts.
yeah, you'd imagine. Yeah, it's only
Around.
5 left in the deck, so they must all thereabouts. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've all fast horses are out, so that's one thing, and his horse economy seems to be decent, so that's good.
Because also the thing, like if he hides now, it could have been going from Brussels to Le Havre. I would still expect him to be on a port, but I think, yeah, maybe hiding and putting down a fog could be worth it. It all depends though, because just imagine if Gadami checks Amsterdam first, and he has a full ward, you're going to have, well, you have at least 2 hunters on you, because Fee doesn't have, Van Helsing doesn't have horses.
Although he has got a reckless sitting there just now anyway, so even
Yeah.
if he did check it, you'd have the option of,
Yeah.
as long as you can get through the fight, it's a risk. All of them before, but yeah, all of a sudden a 3v1 is you don't want to get involved in that. There's evidence Seward doesn't have wax cylinders because he hasn't used it. Mind you, saying that, he's kind of found, he didn't use it in the first week, but he doesn't need to use it now because he's kind of there or thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
He knows he can't have hidden because of the way the cards are laid out. So, there's that. Again, Jonathan's there just chipping away at where he was, so. Because if he does go to sea, you've always got the option of back Rufus and then force him to land or force him to take 4 damage.
Yeah.
He's 14 health. He's not going to be too concerned about that. Yeah.
If he does go to the UK, if there is no CG, he can just feed or be full health again.
Yeah.
So the thing is, like, you can only really moving 2 sea spaces kind of. Well, no, because he could be wolf forming into Spain or into the UK or into France. Yeah, maybe you move to English Channel because then you keep North Atlantic open on the other side if in case things turn to shit. Oh, does he check Amsterdam? Ooh, here he goes. Oh, I thought he was gonna check it and all.
Okay, so you know where he is. So now they can decide what their strategy. But yeah, he's there. What do you do with Nuremberg? They got to clear that.
They know handbooks on the trail. Yeah.
Yep. So you can prepare around that now. Do you? I mean, it's a full trail. I mean, he's done well, Strider, because he's got to clear all these events, 4 of which he doesn't know what they are.
To be fair, one of them's a hide, and then there's 2 of them which are kind of like dud encounters, Saboteur and Rats. But then still, if you walk on them, then you're gonna have to deal with them.
Yeah.
But they don't have much of a mature effect, so there's not as much as it appears. I can't remember what you put in Nuremberg now. Oh, is he actually going in? Oh no, he's not. Okay, I really thought he was going to jump into Amsterdam. I was like, that would have been smidge risky.
The risk is, though, you want to clear these events because, like we've seen, your rats and things. Okay, you can't go right. I'll just leave that, and then you mature that as a layer, and then all of a sudden, if you get back there, you can then double up.
Oh, like this, right?
So, I mean, that's him hit twice with rats.
Yep. And he hasn't got anything, right? So you just may as well ambush at that point, right?
Now, did he bluff last time? Right, okay. With 3 weapons, he must have had a rifle in there.
Yeah, unless he had like all the knives or something. Oh, okay. I mean, she can deal with that, so that's fine.
Yes. Only 2 items as well. You hate to see it when it's a mob and you've only got 1 item or 2. And you're like,
oh, she's got all 3. There's the horses, which are on the other right. So she has got all 3. But yeah, I agree with you. It feels really bad. The 1 hunter that jumps is like, oh, you got 1 item. No, that's not.
The mature here would be great. You'd hit 3 hunters on that mature with the mob.
Yeah, that'd be pretty decent. Yeah. Albeit one of them Seward, but still, especially he's going to become delayed now, most likely because of this vampire. Yep. So yeah, he wouldn't be able to heal. So then
the thing is, Van Helsing's on 6 health after the rats. So all of a sudden, does he want to keep all 3 items, which are weapons?
Yeah.
And it's a bit easier.
Indeed.
You like the mob. It's a nice one that a lot of people can't. Oh, we'll just leave it. I don't mind it mature. And then all of a sudden, if you've got them all, especially if you've got them all in Spain or Italy, it's great to see like the hunters kind of going. The health is now at 5. The health is at 4. You're like, yes.
It'd be better if it had a little bit more flexibility in the sense where if it did something like, instead of being in the region, if it was like all hunters within 2 roads or something like that. So it could span between regions, but within a certain like distance.
Oh, like wolves.
Yeah, but instead of being single city, it's like all cities within 2 range or something.
Never happy, are you? Yes. Yep. Where are the rats?
I mean, double bats. That's gonna cause issues later on.
Yeah.
If they get played well, that's a lot of delay.
So that's that. It's pretty clear. So we can start moving now the hunters to the coast and getting prepared for go. As you say, excellent weather. And again, going back to what I said, this is now, there was no real rush to get excellent weather for Van Helsing firstly, so you could have kept that, punted it to somebody else. Bring Rufus in. That's
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Yeah.
Yeah, you take extra damage. Problem now is, if he lands, it's exactly where he is. So there's no mystery about it. Or do you go a second sea and then kind of like, I could be in English Channel or North Atlantic?
I think honestly, I think I would do that. I think I would do. Oh, but I mean, Gadami's kind of preparing to go to the UK already, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yes. All right. Okay. Let's.
You don't have a stake. Don't ambush. Do not ambush.
Right.
With neither.
Yeah.
With neither. Because you know he doesn't have a stake.
Oh, leave it. No.
Ah, man, because you get him into a knife fight. I mean, he's gonna get into a knife fight anyway. I know, because he's gonna just deal with it in the day, isn't he? You could have done so much. I mean, to be fair, Van Helsing's equipped, so combat might go against Dracula, but I think you could do a lot to Van Helsing. Although he might have searched it in the day anyway, but then he would have become delayed. Day fight.
Because now Van Helsing, if you realise he's reckless and he's got 3 weapons, you could supply, pick up a stake, and all of a sudden go right. Well, that's actually it.
That's the problem with that. Yeah. That's why I'm not. Maybe I almost see fog sometimes like that as almost as a curse, because then it's like the hunter's like, oh, I'm trapped here for 2 days. Cool, I'll supply then, and then goodness knows what they're going to pick up.
I think that's something they should have changed on the fog. Would be especially for Van Helsing. I think it should be one of those where. So let's look at it let's thematically say, okay, Van Helsing's trapped. He trades because what he does is, he communicates with other hunters wherever they may be. He sends an item in a carriage, away it goes, blah, blah, blah. Now, it should be a case of, if there's fog in a city, for example, they turn and say, right, all transport is cancelled till the fog lifts. So Van Helsing shouldn't be allowed to do any trading while there's a fog there. Because, like you say, it kind of defeats the purpose of, especially Van Helsing, who doesn't need to move anyway to be powerful.
Yeah.
I think that should be one of those where, if the fog's played, it's almost like the city just you
literally can't. And also, like, I feel like I don't know thematically where do these supplies come from. If there's lots of fog in the city, are you really going to go venturing out, trying to find supplies and stuff? Probably not. You're going to bunker down, right, and wait for the fog to lift. So thematically speaking, why should you be allowed to supply in fog? I mean, as a hunter player, I'm not going to complain. I'll be like, oh, cool, you trapped me in fog. Cool, I'll just supply all day then. Cool. Thanks for giving me CG and all this good stuff, which I would have got anyway. But I think thematically, does that make it too strong? Maybe. But
well, I think it's a balance, isn't it? Because at the moment, is it? I mean, anyone listening, I don't have any issues with it. I think it's fine. It is what it is, and that's fine. I'm not asking for no man to fucking change the wheel. But I think it would be one of those where if it is fog that's played, because there was one thing Quincy said in a video a while back which made sense, was the whole, if you've got dogs in fog, it should almost negate it, because the dogs could find their way through the fog. So similarly, I think with this, I think it's just one of those where, okay, if you're going to lock a city down, then it should be
locked down. Yeah.
the whole city's locked down. There's no transport, there's no,
No trading.
there's no vessels leaving the port because that would just be a nice little touch to kind of go right. So basically, if you Van Helsing in this situation, all he can do is self heal or do something himself,
Yeah.
but he can't keep doing his power to the other guys.
If you've got two hunters in the same city, thematically you could make it, they've both bunkered down in the same place, so they can trade with each other. That I haven't got
I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'm happy with that because they're going to stay in the same tavern until it lifts. But I think when you've got one out there like him, it would just be a nice touch to say, especially considering that his trait is I can transfer. Because again, this could be the difference between if a hunter jumps on Drac, he can still theoretically transfer heroic loot to somebody, whereas it should be a case of well, you can't because you're out of the game until the fog lifts.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, but then that could be that'd be an interesting balance thing where if you make fog that powerful, but then you could bring in dogs to counter it, and then would that be worthwhile? Would hunters genuinely hold on to dogs to counter the fog? Because also bear in mind, fog can also be countered with forewarned if it's an ambush.
Yeah.
So it can still be dealt with that way, but then it makes bats even more powerful, and it starts changing the dynamic. Then, like, do you really forewarn things like spies and bats, even though there's a fog, and that's one hunter, potentially 2 days rendered useless?
Mm-hmm.
I think there's some merit to it. I almost kind of wish, I'm not saying I'm not saying this will ever happen, nor do I want it to happen necessarily. But the first like real sort of video game community I saw sort of evolve was with Age of Empires 3, where they actually created like their own like community mod, and they were modifying things and creating balances. It'd almost be kind of cool. I'm not saying it'd ever be done, but if we could almost like tinker with the game and have like our own patch, which could be like separate to like the public lobby, and we could try modify. Obviously, I think the problem is the coding is going to be it's not just changing numbers, it's hard coding what the card does, and that'll be really difficult. But it'd almost be kind of cool to do it and experiment and with like upgraded fog and change dogs and all this sort of thing. I think we just break the game with just so many interactions going on. But I think I think we can dream.
Yeah. I thought, we were still waiting for a Speedy Telegraph bug fix. So.
Yeah. I'm not saying it will ever happen, nor, as I said, not that I want it to happen either. But just something I was just thinking. I was like, that could be quite funny. I think, it's just.
I think with fog as well, again, I'm happy with the current use, it's fine, but it was just one of those where, again, it would be more thematic, where it would be a case of, right, okay, there is a fog and this is the reason why. And it would also then allow probably more Dracula players to say, right, well, I'll let them ambush because I'd rather them get fogged at night and delay for 2 than jump on them during the day and then within a day the fog's gone. Because then, I mean, if you've seen here, Van Helsing could just sit and do nothing for 2 days, and before you know it, you're back there. But you've got 3 other hunters that are just doing the actions anyway. So, I think it's as you say, you've got 4-1 that can get rid of it. And
speaking of Van Helsing's in a fight now, night fight, by the way. He's on 7 health. It doesn't really matter. He didn't heal. Oh, that's like the worst hand you've ever seen in your life. Oh, that's fucking grim. I think you just have to plot and just hope he doesn't play Heavenly Host first turn.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an amazing result.
Now that is very good actually, because if the Reckless had a Fang there, he'd probably been tempted to use it.
Mm-hmm.
So by not having it, it's forced his hand, and now he's got a plotting, which is good. Now he's got a Crucifix, which is good. Just you got to choose. I would take a strength.
So he's got a rifle, a Crucifix, and something else that we don't know. Is it a Heavenly Host or is it another weapon? So that's the question. Do you play Fangs in order to play the Heavenly? You don't want to play Claw because he's got a rifle, right? So you don't Claws clogging up your hand because you could just play Rifle now. That's the problem. So I think you play. Yeah. I think you take Strength. I completely agree with you.
Because take a Strength is going to, even if he hasn't got Heavenly Host, it's going to at least get rid of one of these, and you've got plotting, so you're going to do 2 damage with it anyway, even if it escapes. So that's nice to have. So
I guess the only thing with this is if he plays 1 Claws and he gets blocked by Rifle, he knows he's got another one to back it up with, and unless he has another gun of some sort, the vampire's not dying when the second claw gets played. So then, Van Helsing's then down to 3 if he's still in the combat, obviously. We're assuming that Van Helsing's not going to escape, but I think probably he would try to escape here. Because I think like he was going to play Fangs, I'll play a rifle, or I'll play a dodge or something. Oh, I mean, fair enough.
But he knows plotting's in place, so... Yeah. If I had a rifle, I would have just played the rifle. You may as well try and use your offensive way, because you know the plotting's in play and you're going to get damaged anyway.
Yeah. So in the end, actually, that clause was the way that Hunter played escape. Those claws are actually now really effective. Yeah.
And then now, if he, let's say he's going to dodge next round because he knows plotting's been used, that's fine. All you do is the following. You've got your strength to then, or you can,
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
It all depends on it all depends on what he gets now, right? Because that's one clause used up. He has clause. 3 escapes. What's his other thing? Oh, it's a mesmerize. Do you?
Crucifix is there, so that could ruin mist.
I guess you just play claws and just because if he plays anything else apart from dodge, he dies. Well, he plays rifle. Or do you play mesmerize?
I guess.
Is he going to play crucifix again?
There is that. Yeah.
I guess
the thing is. Yeah.
As hunters, if you know he's going to play strength, you play the crucifix. You don't want him to break the weapon, or do you? That's the question. Oh, well, that's all right actually. You don't. I suppose you don't want to fang him now because you don't want to bite him. You want to kill him, right? That's kind of the thing you want to achieve out of this.
That's a bad hand. I mean, that's just. Yeah,
that's really unfortunate to have 3 escapes. You're kind of really stuck. He didn't even he didn't even fucking look what his 5th card was. Oh man, just even if you've got it in your head to play claws, just take 1 second to look at the card first.
He's got the bloodlust. He's got the bloodlust. He's like, I'm gonna kill this old bastard.
Maybe just assumes he's gonna escape. Now you see that I think is obvious because you know that the only way Van Helsing dies in this situation is claws. So you'd play the rifle to block it. So again, that's kind of something you could have. Imagine if he. I don't know what he had, but imagine if he had a strength.
I was going to say, yeah. If that drew up, all of a sudden that's handy. That's like 2 damage. Claws have gone.
Obviously,
rifle's gone.
Obviously, a little bit of bluff because if you played strength and Van Helsing escaped, you'd be like, oh damn it, I could have killed him with the claws, but.
Yeah, I mean, having Van Helsing escape, knowing he hasn't got any.
He has a strength. Now the interesting is, did he get strength now, or did he get it last turn? Because if he had the strength, obviously we don't know because we didn't see it. But if he had the strength available,
right.
But if now he can escape. There's the problem. Now he can escape, and he knows nothing can kill him because both claws are being used.
Yeah.
Escape. Well, that works too. That works as well.
But that's unfortunate.
I would have just escaped because the worst case scenario is that he bites you and like Van Helsing takes you give away 1 point and Van Helsing gets bitten. Who cares?
Yeah.
And
the problem is you can't escape really because if he plays rifle you're going to get hit with damage if your escape is missed. I mean I think you're right. He would escape. He'd be very bold to kind of go right. Well, I'll play one of my offensive to block him escaping. I think you're gonna. The Reckless not gonna try and escape on 3 health.
And you don't want to play Fangs now because he might play Crucifix.
Well, yeah. Oh, there we go.
Oh, I bet he's played Crucifix.
Yeah.
Oh my. Obviously, backseat drivers over here, but.
Well, the thing is, I mean, we really saw the cards at the same, but you're right. I mean, I think that was one of those where that second claw was a bit too hasty because he could have used that strength to get rid of rifle. Then all of a sudden, claws has opened up.
Or if he didn't have the strength and he had a plotting, play the plotting. Because like, what's he going to do? He's going to hit you for 1 damage, and you plot him again. Then you can then claw him, and he can't dodge it.
The thing is, he's got 2 of his hand. Escape and dodge and crucifix that plotting works against.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you want to take advantage of that. But yeah, good play on. Side. He played good combat there. It was...
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, like he
doesn't know what the vamp's got, so you kind of you're playing your own game. So he chose. It was brave to do that again, like you say, because he knew that clause that were used, it was like, well, I'll play Crucifix because the chances are he's going to try and fang me to get something out of the fight.
Yep. So
And
that was
it worked for
well
him.
played to realize
Yeah.
the best case scenario is he plays Fangs, and if he plays Strength and he breaks the Crucifix, who fucking cares? Like Dracula knows he has a Crucifix
Oh.
now, and like he doesn't have Van Helsing doesn't have to deal with this. Seward could move in to deal with it if he wanted to.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, gamble, pay off big time.
Yep. I'd say so.
Here's a thing. Here's a meta. For reckless vampires. You don't. You try not to fang. They just stop. They just stop fanging, and all of a sudden it's kind of like, right, okay, I won't try and get the extra point. I'll try and do damage to the hunters. 'Cause I think that's the problem with reckless. You kind of go. Funnily enough, hence why it's called reckless. It's a case of just jump in there with the fangs to get the point. Where, as you see, you can pretty much get destroyed with that, and you only got the 4 health. So maybe it's a more strategic route to kind of go, well, okay, unless I know for certain, for example, I break the hunter's weapon and I know he's only got 1 left and he's just dodged, I'll use fangs next time, because the hunters are expecting you to use it. So it might be a kind of twitch it around and try not to go for it as often.
I feel exactly the same. It all comes down to priorities again. But I feel like sometimes the information you can get is because also because all the reckless are going to try and bite. It's just too easy that they're going to play knife or garlic and all these sort of things that will block it, and you can just easily lose vampires that way. So just sometimes just when in that situation, him potentially killing Van Helsing is just way more beneficial. And also, if you keep the vampire alive, then now the hunters then have to make decisions like, oh crap, do we send Seward back to deal with that reckless vampire now, or do we not? Do we let it mature? But if it dies, then there's no decision to be made anymore. That's the thing.
Yeah. The threat's gone. So
yeah, I've said 100 times. I'll say 1,000 times more. Like if the hunters are autopiloting and they're not having there's one clear decision every time, then Dracula is I'm not saying is losing because obviously it depends on the situation, but that's not what you want. You want the hunters to there we go. You want the hunters to be like, oh crap, I've got 3 things or 2 things I need to do. I've only got 1 action. Then you're like, right, then that's when mistakes creep in.
Force them to backtrack, force them to double up, team up to do one thing or to do trades, or exactly. That's what it's all about. Is a confusion rather than just okay. We've got an empty trail. He's landed. He's not wolf formed. Right. Yeah. Okay. So that considerably narrows down where he could be.
Yeah. All right. I take the game.
Fortunately, unless Mina can 3 train down to.
They can't psychic scout.
They can't even do a psychic bond in Spain. So,
even then, Godalming's in a bad position for doing that.
So
anyway.
I thought they couldn't get there.
They'd only do it if she could. Oh no, she can't even charter carriage to fucking Santander. So they can't even psychic scan. It'd be interesting if the hunters do the hunters just automatically commit to Britain, or do they actually hang around for a couple of days and supply until they can find out where he is? How urgent is it really? That's the question.
So what would you do? We're Tuesday of the penultimate week there. You've got your hunters sitting around. What do you think what are you going to do?
I think I would. I think in this situation, Godalming definitely supplies. If there's good enough movement that maybe we could do a psychic scan of Spain, I might take Mina and Seward down there and maybe do it in a couple of days. And while they're doing that, the others can just be. I mean, Van Helsing has to heal anyway. Just supply up. That's just me. I wouldn't move because you don't know where he is. You're just asking for trouble. I think there's a point where you do have to move, but I think, for example, like Godalming supplying is absolutely fine. If he did a round of supplies with everybody, that's fine too. Because that's probably because of the hoax. The deck's a bit fucked.
I think
if they wanted to,
the trail is.
Yeah, the trail was in such a good position for hunters, right?
Yeah, I think he would. Because again, the risk is, you either go right. We'll say, you send 1 to the UK and he is there. It's like, well, you could be screwed. You don't know where he is, so This means he's got hypnosis, which would be nice. Then
Yep. Actually, that's not a bad move, because then if you do realize he's in UK from some other like scouts or whatever, that's North Atlantic, so you can get in quite quickly. If Mina goes down to Bordeaux, I mean, because he could. No, he can't be in France. That's impossible. Yeah, hypnosis would just be it'd be amazing. Unless maybe like Godalming's picked up now, and then Van Helsing's going to trade it across to like double trade. That could work. But anyway, like moving Mina off at Le Havre is a little bit annoying because of the fact that if he's in the UK, moving away from him. But then the fact you're going to Seward, you can then move once to get down into Spain and scan that. And Dracula can't get out of Spain. Well, he might. Can he get out of Spain? No, he can't. He could wolf form into France, I suppose.
He could wolf to Alicante and then go to sea again.
Yeah. There's the risk now because like he wants to get to the Med Coast because he doesn't want to get blocked. But if you move to Madrid, Seward might jump onto you. So here's the question: do you now just automatically wolf form to Alicante just to make damn sure that Seward's not going to walk into you?
Oh,
well,
there's a hand.
It's not
rules out the UK, but you know. Well, I suppose he could.
Because he moved 3 C spaces, didn't he? Oh, that's actually yeah. I thought he only moved 2 C spaces because North Sea is revealed. Yeah, that's actually really good. He knows in Spain now.
Yeah. So that's rule. So that's a great card. So that's rule out any issues now.
Yeah. So I think in that situation, staying put. I think Seward moving over is fine because either way, he's closer to the UK or he's closer to Spain. So that's a good move. Everyone has supply. I don't think even Van Helsing supplied. I think he actually rested. That's fine. So yeah, that's good.
If he doesn't wolf now, which I think he should, then be tempted if Seward's got the tickets to just place him in Alicante to block the coast.
Yeah.
Then you're going to force him up to Godalming and Mina. He has got wolf form, but he's going to be struggling because even if he wolves into France, you do a psychic bond and you know he's there. You've got 3 hunters that are still there or they're up.
The problem is, a feed is like okay, but here's the problem with that. He hasn't got fog. So if he wolf forms into Alicante, the hunters are going to be closer to you, and you don't have fog to protect yourself. Yeah. Unless he thinks he can like somehow get out of Spain by doing some like wolf form up to like Bordeaux or something, they don't realize it.
Yes.
He might get fog now.
I think I would have wolfed to Alicante just to be safe.
Yep.
Already there, and then you can feed if they don't find you, if they jump to Lisbon tomorrow, you're like, okay, I've still got time to feed, and then I can go back to sea, and you want to drag 2 or 3 into Spain, and then you could effectively go 2 seas to Iranian and then go to whatever it might be. But I mean landing, which is a mistake I made, so I'm talking from experience, landing without wolf forming when you caught me in Genoa, it was like. And then CG was played. There's always that risk that you're like, your back's against the coast. If CG's played, you're fucked. Or if they move 3 hunters in, what are you gonna do? So.
Oh wow! So just by the way, that's double renewed Vigor Speedy Telegraph combo in the same game.
Yeah.
Kind of unfortunate for Van Helsing that he got a Dracovet on top, so he wasn't able to supply to get a hide scouts or something. And then, but I mean, there's only 3 locations he could be in, and the fact he fed. There's no he's on a coast, so I guess with Godalming you go to San. Is this Godalming? I don't know who's moving because of the interface. I think it is Godalming moving. Right?
Sure, yeah. I think you go Santander, then you just go to Lisbon because fogs have gone.
I guess you only go to Lisbon if you can get other hunters there. If you can't get other hunters there, you move to Madrid to block it.
Well, you can. I mean, Sue's got fat. Oh. Jesus Christ.
But I think that was a glitch because it said 3 discarded state. Oh no, there's 3 in the discard pile. Yeah, Jesus. Well, I mean, fair enough, honestly.
Oh, fuck! I thought it was his hand. It was. Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, that was discarded. I mean, to be fair, 3 discarded states is probably right given the situation in the game. Right? There's no trail to deal with.
Well, you're gonna get Seward there regardless. He's got fast horses, so you just I think you just jump on him. Put Godalming to Lisbon.
Maybe.
Seward will get there.
Well,
that's gonna be.
Actually, I kind of like that move. He's moving Seward first before he moves his second with Godalming. I kind of like that because you don't want to commit to Godalming and then Seward rolls slow and he can't get there. So I kind of like that. He's guaranteeing that both of them can get there.
His pincer movement, yeah, that's good.
I actually like that. Yeah, that's actually something people was. But yeah, Speedy Telegraph and Nude Vigor, you can play all the actions in any order you want. So you can move 2 hunters, and then that you can move 1 hunter, then move another, then move the first hunter again. That's actually really nice. Oh shit, can you get Mina there? Oh, he might be able to get Mina there, you know.
You get to Bordeaux and then reel
Oh,
it down. Yeah.
oh, maybe depends on ticket. Ah, she's not. Nah, she's not gonna have the ticket. That's a shame. Maybe he's got like 2x1s with her, but that's fine. Just get suited. So he's got 2v1 on the go, right?
Yeah.
I think you ambush. Take
the cards.
Imagine if they gave you fog.
Mm-hmm.
And if they want to get rid of it, then a heavily host.
Maybe.
Oh, we say GG. Oh, that's quicker than Mr. Green.
I know. Yeah. It depends what you. I was gonna say if you had to roll elite pip, like okay, maybe Lucy's Revenge. Yeah. I mean, you play it. Yeah, just play it.
Yeah, of course you would, right? Oh, planned ambush.
Yeah,
fuck. Oh,
fuck it. Okay, maybe his prediction was correct.
Oh, double planned ambush. Holy moly.
Jesus.
Yeah, this is gnarly. It all depends on what he's got, but obviously horses are going to be chucked at this point, right? I wouldn't be. I don't know who played the lucky find, but whoever it was, if they thrown away horses, I would not be surprised.
Yeah. You don't need them now. Well, yeah, I suppose 11 health.
Nah, like the worst place he's gonna go. I guess the only way like escape his bat is not as likely. Oh, he didn't look at the combat information screen. He didn't know what. I mean, I guess there's only thing he could just play strength, right? Just hope he picked the right one. Oof.
Yeah. Well, planned ambush on both. It fucking doesn't matter, does it?
Oh, that's fucking true. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah, if they both got heavily host, he's kind of fucked because he's down to 3 health already. Then. Yeah, that's true. Oh wow.
I think they may have that twice. Yeah, I think they've. Especially with the way the deck is, they all must be tooled up with heavenly hosts.
I think Van Helsing might have one. Because he didn't use it against the Reckless, but then the other two might have it. It all depends. Does Mina have a heavily hose? I doubt it. Yeah, you see. Yeah. Yup. Because he's on a knife. If you're on, he's gonna be down to 3 health probably. He's just on such a knife edge then.
I know. Yeah, it's tough. Whereas, got a wolf form.
He does
Alicante, even there, you've kind of. I mean, they could have still got to him, I suppose, and he would have been more health down, but.
And because he didn't play Desecrated.
Do it on 200.
Because there's 2 planned ambush. No, that's because there's 2 different cards. That's why.
Yeah. The rules.
If you looked at the combat information screen, it's probably there. I think.
There'd be planned ambush next to the hunters that have got it. But you could only use. Hang on, what?
Planned ambush for combat. Nope. No, that's only bullets. No. Planned ambush, you can use both. We've done it many a time.
Oh, jeez.
That's a shite hand. That's god awful. Oh man, that's rough. That's hard luck. That's like 2 combats in a row he's been screwed by his deck, but still, that's when you're against that combo of cards, there's not much you can do about it. Oh wow, that's GG. Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah.
That's a GG right there. Because if he used Desecrated Soil, it wouldn't have made a difference for the combat, but he might have got the fog out. Oh, he has only bullets.
Just proper overkill. Just like shooting his cadaver on the ground, just like motionless, just like ploughing a 6 fucking shooter into his head, just like, and that's another one, and that's another one.
I could just going up to Grave. John, it's okay.
Yeah.
He's dead again. Just leave him be.
He's not worth it, mate. He's not worth it. Leave him alone.
Just taking Sue and just wrapping him up with like a wee blanket. Like, come on, it's fine. Just take it to the pub. It'll be okay. Like, you've done it.
And once he's into the chamber, he starts pistol whipping him just for good measure. It's like, I think we're gonna have to lock him up in his own asylum.
Oh yeah. That was a shock, by the way, when I read the books. Obviously, I saw like Doctor, but didn't even think. I saw then just like the way he got introduced. I was like, oh.
Yeah, not the conventional. He's just, oh, you're a quack. You're not a proper MD, right? Okay.
Oh wow. Oh well. So I think it was an interesting game, definitely. I think I think the main thing was it came down to combat more than anything else. Just the two. I mean, I know it sounds ridiculous. I mean, the last one, like that's just hard luck. But I think there were two reckless, which could have done way more than they actually did. It's about
The Van Helsing one in Amsterdam was, or Cologne, whatever it was.
yeah.
That could have you could have done damn, especially when you knew that he had your plotting. You knew he had the crucifix. You could have worked around that. I
Yeah.
think again, like you say, he was too eager to jump in with the claws or the fangs. So
I didn't even look at what the other card
even
was. I mean,
see,
I'll put my hand up. I had a game against Zolt, which I easily could have lost because of one stupid combat. As one of those where I just rushed and went, oh yeah, I'm doing that card, and without actually thinking about what was going to happen the next round of combat or the next round of combat. And it's like, oh, fuck. And if I lost the game, I would have been like, it was all in that combat. And that's all it can take sometimes. The game's so weird. It can just take one combat to flip, even not with Dracula, with like a vampire, and it flips the entire game. So yeah, I think
I've done that myself. Like I've been guilty of. Right, there's the card that I want. That's what I want to play, and not looked at this the next one I've got. You can get drawn up into that, but again, it's just when that bloodlust comes, it's just okay. Let's just see what have I got, then play around it. But yeah, I think the combat. I mean, Fangs played good combat. I wouldn't say it was necessarily Strider playing bad, although what we've just said alludes to that. I think it was one of those where he thought, okay, I mean, for example, how many people would have thought like Van Helsing will probably try and escape now rather than play Crucifix, knowing that, especially knowing that Drac knows you've got Crucifix. Well, the chances are it's like, okay, well, he could have strengthed or whatever. So it's that's what I like about it as well. It's one of those when you're playing it, you don't know, you only know what you have, and that's the thing. When people are watching it or going, why wouldn't you play this? It's like, well, either haven't got it, and usually that's the reason why. If you've got a card you know is useful, you're either not going to play it because you know that they can counter it, or you just don't have it to play, and you could take advantage of them not having a weapon. But I think, yeah, to get both strengths, and it was night time, and you didn't manage to destroy two weapons, was a bit of a, that's a loss, really. Even just to get rid of one would have been handier.
Yeah, I agree. I think also like the thing we've got to take into account is like obviously good money trail, and that because of just the way the sea movement was done, that really then limited where Dracula could have been. So then the argument is, do you actually go to Cadiz in that situation because it's less likely that the Huns jump on you, but then it's possible you went to Lisbon because you thought, oh well, it's too obvious I go to Cadiz, and no one will check Lisbon, but then because they had the second renewed vigor, and that's also the fact there was a hoax. I don't know when that second renewed vigor got pulled out the decks. Obviously, we'll never know because we can't see Pangs of Fire's perspective. But he blew one renewed vigor already. There's a part of you as a drag player goes, oh, he's not going to have the second one, surely. But I think the way you can tell is then how many things are spinning in the dawn phase. But then I don't know. I wasn't fully paying attention as a player.
Oh no.
So I don't know. He might have got that really late. That could have been like the last supply with Godalming before he landed, kind of thing. We don't know when he landed initially. So I think, do you risk going to the UK? I mean, maybe, especially if Renewed Vigor was gone, Excellent Weather was gone. Renewed Vigor would have been a little bit useful because they could have moved, if they're in the sea, they could have moved by sea and then moved by land on the same turn, which maybe Drac wasn't expecting. Fog had been used, so there was no second fog to worry about. So in the end, the fog wasn't used. Obviously, he didn't know that, right? Obviously, it's all very easy in hindsight. Go, ooh, that was a wasted fog. I probably would have played fog too, to be honest. But then the fact that the fog was gone, you kind of go, oh crap, right? How do you try to get that fog? That's why I'm saying when the Huns were just jumping in, just play the Desecrated Soil, because either you're going to get the 3 encounter cards, you might get your second fog, so if you do escape from the combat, you've got fog to follow up with to buy you a bit of time. And even, or if they want to get rid of the Desecrated Soil, they'll reveal a Heavenly Host to you. In the end, it doesn't matter if they reveal the Heavenly Host because they have double planned ambush. There's not much you can do as a drag player. It doesn't matter how well you play. You can't really survive against a combo of double planned ambush and lose his revenge. That's pretty gnarly.
Not a fucking hope. Even if you had full health. I think what this does though is, and again it's all retrospective and overall academic, kind of brings into play that had he kept Unearthly Swiftness, that would have been an easier. He could have effectively rule formed anywhere. He could have rule formed into France, and then he could have moved and been up in 60, and stayed away from being stuck on the coast of Spain. Because when Money Trail was played, you would think, "Oh, right, he must be in Spain, or he must have been somewhere like that." So he could have effectively managed to get away or try and confuse them, or even rule form initially or pretend to. I think that would have been, or even landed in UK when he was in the English Channel, and then he could have landed once, used Unearthly Swiftness, moved again to Swansea, so that if CG's played, you've got a free ocean to move to, and then start laying down trails there. And then by the time the guys get to you, even if you get 2 hunters into the UK, by that time North Sea may have dropped off. You could be up in Edinburgh and be away, or you could just jump to the Irish Sea. You've still got North Atlantic open. So, yeah, I mean, again, it's all, you play the game that you're playing, and when you're in it, we all know it's, your focus is completely different to when you're just sitting back watching it. But I think, like we said at the time in Earthly Swiftness, it's like, well, I think I said at the time, it's like, well, you want to play it if you're in a tight situation, and that was pretty tight there. Would have just given you that bit of, I can get away now.
The whole game would have been different if he hadn't played on Earthly Swiftness, but he did, because he would have probably gone to sea more like earlier. So the whole thing in Amsterdam probably wouldn't have happened if Unearthly Swiftness hadn't been played, because he didn't then. There's the fact that he played Unearthly Swiftness to get to Hamburg, and then he backtracked. I was like, well, he got away with it. So it's like, But I understand why too, because like, as you said, like if he'd gone to Leipzig and just stayed put, there's a chance they could have jumped on him. But then in the way it all panned out, with the way that the hunters checked places, and then Seward's moves seemed to be wasted and all that stuff, and then they wasted Rufus Smith, so they didn't actually know where he was. So then the swiftness wasn't actually that effective, the way it all panned out.
That would have been annoying to me if Seward, because you expect them all to come close to you. In that case, you could have just jumped to Prague and sat there, because they would have gone past him, and then he could have gone down to, because Mina was far enough away, and she then went up to Munich. You could have effectively just gone back eastern, because I wasn't expecting Stewart to go all the way to Marseille. And
no, me never.
Obviously, he got confused where Drac went, which happens. But yeah, you'd have been like, oh fuck, I thought they were all going to be on my tail. That's why I used it. But yes, it's a nice wee glimpse. It was good. So I don't know if that was that this week's game then.
It was yesterday's game. Yeah, we're recording on it's now just become into Friday of 21st of April. So I'll try to get this uploaded just now, so then I can process it over breakfast. So then you'll see this the next day. So we can. So yeah, that's like the live, like the most live game. I think this was only played 24 hours ago our time. So yeah. Very fresh. I actually think Strider's just messaged me on Discord, so I don't know if he's mentioned something about the game or whatever, but we'll see what he says. But yeah, it was an interesting game, and I think we said it too of our game, like length of time. Obviously, if you see something over 2 hours, you're like, oh, this is probably an epic. But we got to almost the fourth week, and it was only an hour, 20 minutes or something. So we
battled through that, didn't we?
Yeah. I think also you could have done some other stuff, like as you said, it'd be quite good to do Unearthly. I mean, you want to save it for the fourth week, but maybe just go. You could also almost go to Bordeaux and then wolf form from Bordeaux somewhere else. But you didn't have fog, so it's kind of risky. But would they have gone down to Marseille? Maybe not. Who knows, right? It's tricky. I still like the original thing we came out with, was you just go to English Channel and then go to the UK. And in the end, because of the whole thing, how it all panned out with Van Helsing, if he ended up getting CG blocked, I don't know if he had CG. I think it would have been played otherwise. I think he would have tried to block him in Spain with it, surely, if he had it. But if you did get CG blocked, well, there's nothing on the trail that's going to mature because everything got killed. So you're not actually losing stuff. It's not like you've got a rumor token vampire that you really, really need to mature, and you have to I do not want to get CG blocked. This is going to get wiped. So yeah, he would have taken 7 damage and stuff. And obviously, Rufus being played was a little bit, that hurt. I don't think he gained much benefit from that extra space sea move. And if you just go to English Channel, sure, the Huns would have chased you, but you're not. You could just move from London to Swansea if you felt that pressure and just instantly leave. You got stuff in London, and you could put down rumour tokens in London. So then you're having to force hunters to go there. You go North Atlantic, you do stuff in Ireland, you feed, and then leave. Rufus is going to cause issues, but
And I think is the other thing with unearthly swiftness is because it's not just about a second movement, it obviously progresses the trail by one. So that
yes,
could be the difference between maturing a vamp
yeah,
or getting something matured quicker than you wanted to. Like in my recent game, like I was saying, I had it and I used it because I managed to mature 2 desecrated soils
oh
consecutively.
wow,
So my health, that's the one when I finished on 13 because I got my health back up by 6 just by using it. So it wasn't necessarily, I wasn't using it for the movement, it was just to progress the
yeah,
maturation of the card. So there could have been that option, but I think as you said, you go to the UK. And to be fair, if at that stage you went to the UK, you've done 2C, so you were -2 health, or rather 2 more health because you weren't going a third C with Rufus.
yeah,
And as long as you're not bottlenecked in Manchester or whatever, if CG's played, okay, you do 5 damage, clear your trail, but then you still keep moving around. Once the heavenly hosts are lifted, you then start move, or you get feedback as well if that was on the trail, and then you can just kind of okay, well the guys still have to come to the UK. I don't know. It's one of those, isn't it? We're all talking retrospectively because now it's done. It's like, well, you coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I think I can see why he went to Spain, especially the way they were lined up. I think when Sud went to Bordeaux, it was more right. Well, now you're struggling because they've got fast horses. You probably want a wool form, or you wool form. Again, this perhaps could be probably even more risk actually. Wool form, but you don't go to. You just wool form, but stay in Lisbon, and you force them to think that you're in Alicante or somewhere. Then you can kind of Santander, but yeah, Mina was behind them, so that would have been more
yeah,
risky.
or takes a psychic scan, and that
Yep.
plan's ruined. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
they might have jumped on anyway. I think that's the problem. I think the feed. I mean, the problem is that he didn't know they had a second renewed vigor. I mean, maybe he did because of the, but then even then you don't know. It could be a long night when you telegraph, right? It might not
yeah.
be renewed vigor. We always have to assume it's renewed vigor. But even if he'd gone instead of the feed, if he'd gone to Madrid, they checked Madrid was Seward, and Gadami had a movement, so they would have been in a 2v1, and I think Mina wouldn't have made it.
And it was good on Fangs to have, because he had Mina and Le Havre, even if he would decide to rule form from North Atlantic, somewhere into France,
Yeah,
then you can only effectively be Paris, Clermont-Ferrand, or Toulouse. And all of a sudden, if an evil presence is drawn,
yeah,
then all of a sudden it's like, oh, right, you're in France. And then you've got the same situation where you've got 3-on-1.
and all it takes if she's holding on to a 2 white, yellow 1 ticket, she can just get down to Marseille to block that port. And then Dracula's then having to run inland against hunters who have fast horses. You can't outrun that unless you end up. The only way you can is if you get like a fog and you trap loads of them without forewarned, and then you can get away. But as we know, he only used 1 fog, so there's a good chance he doesn't have the second. Especially there's no desperate soils. So in that sense, it wasn't getting through the encounter deck that quickly. But
Yeah, it was. It was an entertaining game. I think both of them are relatively new to the game as well, so it was good to see kind of 2 newbies playing. The kind of, I mean, obviously they know how to play the game, which is fine. I think combat was edged more towards Fangs on that occasion, but
yeah,
that can swing like a pendulum every time you play. So, to be fair, Strider got some shit hands. I mean, fucking 3 escape cards, a plotting and a mez. What do you do with that?
yeah.
That's the kind of hand you get in your combat, and you're like, all right, well, fuck it. I think I've done that. I've actually announced that if I'm playing, I'm like, right, well, I'm doing nothing with this hand because you're just so frustrated that, especially when you can't, especially if it's round 1 or 2 and you can't even use your escapes. You're like, what the fuck am I meant to do with this?
Yeah. That's why combat's just so risky, right? Because you get so you just get clogged up with escapes, and you can't do
And
anything.
again,
Yeah,
for the hunters, that's the benefit for hunters again is that they obviously all through the game they are preparing their combat hand, appropriately,
yeah,
whereas Drac pretty much you're playing a blind hand because until the cards are turned, you don't know what you're getting. So it's not as if Drac's got his own hand of combat to kind of go, well, I'll use this, this, and this. You're just whatever the deck draws you and plays you. You're like, Right. Well, and again, that's part of the battle where you want to do damage before they face track. You want a weakened hunter. You don't want them
Mm,
jumping on you because they know what you. And unless you've managed to deduce by, as you say, I think for Strider, if he watches or listens to this, one thing for everybody is always check the discard pile because again, you can deduce so much from what you can effectively work out what the hunters have by looking at the discard pile.
yeah.
And then from there you can work out, right, so they've got that, and so on. Like we did about, they obviously haven't got stake, so therefore don't ambush them, let them come to you at night.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't think he didn't look much at it. So, and I get it. There's so much to look at. You've got to check layers. You've got to check you've got to check discapa. But that's all part of. You've got time between your rounds to do that. Rather than, if it's night time for whichever side, check the discard pile, check the layers, whatever it might be, and just keep up to speed with that. So you're not sitting waiting. And again, if a player's playing a bit slower, then take that time to actually make sure you're up to speed with everything that's going on, because that's where you go to discard and see, oh, there's 3 stakes discarded. Wow. All right, I'm just going to throw vampires then.
Yeah.
So yeah, always check that.
And that's why I don't get like. I mean, I get it to a certain point, but when I hear people saying, "Oh well, we will," hunters are more interesting to watch. There's more going on. It's like, well, yeah, there's more happening, like flashy stuff on the screen. But as Dracula, you've got more deduction to do in the sense that you've got to try and constantly be looking, going, where do I think these items are? You're always having to think. If you're being a passive Drac and you're not looking at those things, then yeah, of course, not much happens. If you're constantly having to think, wait, I have to play the game here. Who has what? Oh, they revealed that, right? Okay, so it's like that. I mean, obviously, the things like there's another thing that popped into my head today about whole sort of weapon and like item meta, because it's too easy because of I was thinking about the strength of Fangs and how it's like an item that just does too many good things. It blocks fangs, which is obviously really good in general, because obviously bites, even a lot of bites don't happen in our community just because fangs are so popular, especially on Mina. And also the fact it stops escape as bat. Imagine if you had a situation where and it does 3 damage. Which it does
Yeah.
the most damage as well. And I did think, like, well, that could be another thing. I mean, I'm not saying we'd ever do it, but if we had our imaginary, we can balance the game however we want kind of patch, try it where you have only the guns stop escape as bat. They do less damage, but they stop escape as bat. Whereas the knife does more damage and it blocks fangs, but it can't stop escape as bat. So I don't know what other thing would block. Maybe you'd swap the plotting and the escape as bat around with pistol, so you could stop a plotting um, and a claw and a because you can't do it with claws, because then claws would be useless because every weapon counters it. So you'd want maybe like knife to stop plotting fangs perhaps, because then the hunters have to start thinking a bit more, because like do I take this anti-escape as bat thing, or do I take the thing that stops the bite and the more damage thing? And then you've got a little bit of a debate going, and I think then it might make it slightly more viable to take things like pistols and holy bullets, because then it's like, well, the guns are a little bit stronger then because they've got slightly more use. So that's the thing. Like, I think I don't know how much information genuinely you get from the discard pile, because a lot of the time, once it gets towards the late game, kind of like, well, you're gonna have mostly heavily hose, mostly knives, and there will be a couple of guns kicking around. And you might get a mystery thing like a garlic or a crucifix comes out. Um, but especially early, especially with encounters, like trying to work out stakes and stuff. That's what I mostly use it for. I use it to track stakes most of the time.
And I
'Cause
think I think it's just a good habit to get into. If you start doing it as muscle memory,
yeah,
then that's what that's part of the game. Is again, even if it's late game or early game or whatever, just always just check the discard, because again there could be some surprises that you weren't aware of. If
hmm
if you see a heavily host, the chances are that somebody's doubled up on it and they've had to get rid of one. Um, you've got all these, and again, you just get into that. Use the UI on the screen. Check like layers. Always keep layers checked, because they might delete one night and you've not checked it, and all of a sudden you think, where could they be? Well, they've just moved to somewhere you thought was already on the. So it's just a nice. I think it's a good habit to get into. To just always
agree.
check. You go through. You've done your move, right? Check discard. Anything else come off? No. Check layers. Anything? Right. Okay. Right. Now I can do my move. And I think that's it just sort of stops anyone. I forgot to check that. I mean, the amount of times we've seen it where
Mm,
before you became champion and Jedi Master, the amount of times I used to catch you with layers because you'd be like, fucking layers. You know what I mean? It'd be like, I never checked the layers. And you do it again. It's like, did you not just say? You're like,
Nah,
yeah, but, and then
totally.
you get into habit. You get to the habit of, right, check the layers. Because again, it's one of those
Yeah,
where that can tell you where Dracula is as a hunter. You go, right, he's removed that. Is he hoping I don't check layers and I'm not going to notice this and he's now going there? Or is he doing it because he knows I need to check that because I can't let it go? So it's just, there's ways that can help you in the game, just little nuances to perhaps help you win a game that maybe you're if you're struggling with at the moment to try and get.
sure. I do it. I mean, if anybody watches my games, I it just my favorite thing to do is check the item discard pile and the combat information screen, and I do it so often that there's no new information. I'll check the combat screen multiple times in the same round of combat. I'll play the first round of combat and go, oh, let's check the I button to see what's going on. But it's almost like, firstly, because my memory is fucking terrible, but it's also just it's a thing, just like it's just there. You just do it all the time, and eventually you're doing it without thinking. But then it means that you're like, oh yeah, check I. And then you might spot something or whatever. I mean, to be fair, it'll be funny when you watch the game against Mr. Green, because I partly should I say the result? Oh, maybe not.
Oh, don't no don't, because I didn't watch it. I'll watch it if it's out tomorrow. I'll watch that. I didn't see it live, so.
Well, I had a bit of fun with the interface, let's say. But
Right.
again, it was kind of like.
You dick.
I like how you said. I said just I like that. Should I tell the viewers the result? You know the fucking result. I just fucking told you, and it's in the Discord. Gee, I thought I was one with a bad memory. Oh dear God.
Oh no, but I meant yeah, don't because but by the time I watch these games, I'll forget what we just reviewed now. We could sit down tomorrow and spectate this game again we just watched, and I'd be like, this players didn't see who wins, so don't worry about that. Yeah, I meant more that I've not watched that game, so I want to see it. Now, yeah, you're right. I know the result, but if you've just, and I guess as well, probably as a YouTuber, it's one of those where when you're waiting for the opponent, it's like, I guess you don't want just screen to be stationary. You want to move. I've noticed that kind of you want to move around and make sure things are getting just to kind of all right. You're checking that now, but when there's nothing to check, because sometimes you'll do it and you'll go, oh, I've just bugged the screen out because I was fanning about clicking on shit, and now I need to log out and log back in again. It's like because I've watched you do that. I'm like, there's nothing to check. Just fucking cam your jets. You've already checked this 5 times. It won't change. You're fine. Yeah. But I get it. But again, I'd rather be in your school of thought than never check the stuff and kind of go, you're flying blind halfway through it. So.
And suddenly be like, a year into playing this game, oh, there's information here. It's like, aha, yeah, it's been here. It's like the meme of like the 2 astronauts, like the one behind like pointing the gun. It's like, oh, it's been all along. I'm gonna have to make that with like that. It's like, oh
mate,
there's information in the UI. There has been all this time.
yeah.
Excellent meme. I'm gonna have to make that. Not now, but that's gonna be a weekend job. I'm gonna make that meme. That's funny.
Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, you should do something like along the lines of you can rule format as CG. You should just put along just to trigger a couple of folk as well.
Excellent. Yeah, excellent. Oh, yeah, that's gonna be my weekend plan. After my games, that's gonna be my weekend plan. Well, see, that's almost 1 AM. I think we should call it. But thank you for joining. That was actually. I thought we were just going to play a game. I thought this was really good fun anyway. So thank you for that. Hopefully we can do another co-commentary at some point.
No problem. Thank you.
And thank you for watching, everybody. I will see you in the next video at some point very, very soon. Take care. Bye bye.